In transitioning, then don't transition. Let the man do what he wants to do. Back to Brian Stelter with CNN. Brian, so you say this whole thing was choreographed. Why do you say that?
You know, there's a high-profile, very high-powered PR executive out in Hollywood that's been helping Jenner do this so that it all goes smoothly, so that there's a less bad press and more positive press. And I have to say, overwhelmingly, the press has been positive around this transition. You know, cameras are rolling now for the E! reality show that Jenner will be doing this summer. You mentioned it just now, called I Am Kate. This will be the first time where she talks in depth about why she's making this transition and what it's been like for the first few months. What hasn't been talked about, though, what hasn't been talked about in the Diane Sawyer interviews or in Vanity Fair is the car crash. That's the part that no one's talking about except for you. So I give you credit, Nancy, for bringing this up and reminding people this is still an ongoing investigation.
Well, Brian, you know, everybody, you're seeing video from Vanity Fair. You were a little bit earlier. Now you're seeing the crash. I want Jenner to be happy, whatever, you know, makes her happy. And this is a lifelong desire of his. He's had sexual dysphoria for many, many years. Several wives have come out and talked about it, that he told them, right, if not immediately, at some point, hey, I have gender dysphoria. I want to be a woman. And I don't know that that was a big secret among his wives, but we still have the issue of a vehicular homicide victim to deal with. But I've got to ask you a question. Brian Stelter, how far has the transitioning gone? Okay, what, does he have a penis?
Well, that's the part everybody wants to ask, but everybody's afraid to ask, right?
I really don't have another way. I was grasping for words. I didn't know quite how to put it out there. That's a video from East Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
The best answer I've got is that she has said in the past that'll be the last part. If she ever decides to go there, that'll be the last part that happens. We've got no reason to think it's happened yet. But we see the new face. The facial reconstruction surgery went so well. We see it on the cover of Vanity Fair with Caitlyn Jenner there. Additionally, we see quite an impressive chest that was not there a few months ago. So you can see there has been a dramatic change, and that's why she was posing for these pictures with a very famous photographer, Annie Leibovitz, another part of that carefully choreographed transition I was talking about. But as these cameras are rolling with E! I find it really notable that Buzz Bissinger, the writer of the Vanity Fair article, which was 12,000 words long, didn't mention the vehicular manslaughter issue at all. He focused, and rightfully so, understandably so, on the issue of the transition and how hard it has been to make this transition and how free Caitlyn Jenner says she is now. But it did seem to me like the car crash issue was just totally missing.
And you know another thing, everybody, you're seeing video from Vanity Fair. Kathy Roomer, board-certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon. Dr. Roomer, thank you for being with us. I've got a question. At this juncture, is Caitlyn Jenner a woman? Does he still have a penis, or does she have a vagina? How does this whole thing work?
Well, the jury is still out on that one, whether he's had bottom surgery yet or not. The typical way that gender reassignment surgery works is there is a World Professional Association for Transgender Health. It's called WPATH. And there are guidelines that are set up through different modalities, be it your medical doctor, your behavioral therapist, your surgeon, and a number of life role fulfillment criteria that people need to meet. Once that's all met, then it's possible to have your surgery performed.
Dr. River, what is that life role criteria? Because, you know, I could go dress like a man, but I don't know if I could pass for a man. So this is really a whole personality reassignment. It's not just getting breast implants. It's not just, you know, shaving your Adam's apple. It's a whole new way of living, of thinking, of becoming. It's like becoming a butterfly from being in a chrysalis. You're seeing video from East Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So I imagine it takes a lot of mental reprogramming and psychological reprogramming.
Well, it's essential for the patients to live at a minimum for 1 year in the role as a female, if they are transgender females, or transgender male living a male role. Once they fulfill that criteria, there is also criteria that needs to be met by 2 behavioral therapists with a master's degree level of training or higher to make sure that the patient understands what they are, agreeing to and interested in having done.
It's interesting that you said that, Dr. Kathy Raymer. Brian Stelter, everybody, you're seeing video from Vanity Fair. I was reading an article where Caitlyn, who is formerly known as Bruce Jenner, said, I woke up and thought, what have I done to myself? Because, it's like a dog chasing a car. What you going to do when you get it? So when he first wakes up, he went, oh, what have I done? But the reality, she seems to be happy now and settling into the decision. Here's E's Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Do you remember that Caitlyn Jenner said, what have I done?
That's right. This was a 10-hour-long facial feminization surgery. Immediately afterwards, you can imagine, or maybe we can't imagine, what that shock would have been like. But yeah, as the days and weeks went by, according to Buzz Bissinger, this new reality sank in. She has fully embraced it. You actually see her on the reality show saying, this is the new normal for me. This is the new normal. And furthermore, we're going to see in these episodes, I think in real special detail, what it's like to make this transition. A lot of people, myself included, don't really know what it's like to embrace this and to make these changes in a physical way, as well as you're describing, mentally and spiritually. So I think that's what this reality show is going to be all about this summer. It's going to be a lot different than what we're used to seeing on Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Okay, now hold on. Brian Stelter, you said 10 hours of facial what?
Of facial feminization surgery. It's another way of saying reconstruction surgery.
Feminization surgery. Okay, Dr. Kathy Raymer, what is that? Facial feminization surgery, and what does it entail? It sounds horrible.
So facial feminization surgery can entail a number of different things that are going to transform more masculine-looking features into more feminizing-looking features. Things like a more refined nose with a rhinoplasty, more apple-like cheeks, a more narrow jaw, a brow that is not, a forehead that is not as high, arched eyebrows, larger eyes, things that are typically found to be more feminine features, not an M-shaped hairline, but a more rounded hairline, a more rounded jaw, a more curvaceous jaw, and a shorter turned-up lip.
As you're talking, I'm looking at Jenner, and I understand, as you're saying it, Dr. Kathy Raymer, exactly what you mean now that you have enunciated in that manner. So Brian Stelter, CNN media correspondent, senior media correspondent, right now he still has the penis, says you.
Well, we don't know any differently. I'm going based on
so you haven't
all that she's revealed so far. But like I said, this has all been doled out one little detail at a time.
I'll tell you what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about how a jury, you got to be very careful when you pick this jury. About, the defense is not going to want anybody on this jury that's going to judge Caitlyn Jenner because of this transformation.
Well, aren't there two sides to this? Because the other side would be she's getting so much positive attention. She's even bigger as a star now than he ever was before. Couldn't that influence the jury in a positive way?
Okay, everybody, we were talking about, and Brian Stelter was talking about, the Vanity Fair interview. Take a listen to that.